How often do you feel your attention slipping away? As if no matter how hard you try, you get stuck in a whirlpool of distractions. You sit down to work on your business, to build your dream life, but then your phone vibrates. You scroll through Instagram, watch TikTok videos, and before you know it, 2 hours have passed. But here's what no one wants to talk about. It's not just about the wasted time. It's about being led astray. The truth is, many of us have allowed our brains to be hijacked by hypersexualized content, the craving for instant pleasure, and habits we never consciously chose. I know because I've been there myself. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I had a huge opportunity, a presentation for an investor that could change everything. I prepared for weeks, stayed up late perfecting the presentation, practiced it so many times I could do it in my sleep. But on the day of the presentation, I failed. Not because I didn't know the material, not because I wasn't prepared, but because the night before, I allowed myself to be distracted. A few minutes of scrolling turned into hours of meaningless content. In the morning, I woke up with brain fog, unfocused, and full of shame. That's when I realized something had to change. If you've ever felt the same way, if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, why can't I just stop? Stay with me. Today, I'll show you how I changed everything. First, let's understand why this happens to us. We live in a world our brains weren't built for. Think about it. Just 100 years ago, people had to actively seek out information, images, experiences. Today, we are surrounded by a constant stream of hyper-stimulating media, from Instagram to TV ads to movies. All of it is designed to trigger one thing, a dopamine release, the chemical in your brain that makes you feel good when you experience pleasure. In moderation, dopamine is wonderful, but the problem is these platforms have learned to exploit it. Every image, like scroll, is a tiny dopamine hit that pulls you deeper into a consumption cycle. Over time, this hyperstimulation rewires your brain, making it harder to concentrate, connect with others, and find satisfaction in what truly matters: your goals, relationships, growth. I didn't realize how deep I was in this cycle until I failed that presentation. After that day, I started tracking my habits. I noticed how often I reached for my phone when stressed, how much time I spent on meaningless videos, and worst of all, how disconnected I was from my goals. It wasn't just about lost time. It was about losing my focus, my drive, my ability to be present with the people I care about. That's when I started asking myself tough questions. Why do I let these distractions control me? Why do I give my time and my brain to things that don't serve me? And most importantly, how can I take it all back? To understand why it's so hard, let's look at history. Companies discovered something revolutionary. They could sell more by appealing to emotions, especially desires. That's how modern advertising was born. Over decades, this strategy evolved into the hypersexualized marketing we see today. But here's the thing. Our brains haven't evolved as fast. We're still wired like our ancestors, who lived in a world of scarcity and survival. This means we are naturally drawn to what seems pleasurable or exciting. In the past, that might have been a rare piece of food or an opportunity to form a meaningful bond. Today, those instincts are hijacked by endless content that offers no real value. The result, we are overloaded and unable to focus on what really matters. I was in that cycle. My business suffered, my relationships suffered, and I suffered the most. But then I realized if my brain could be reprogrammed against me, it could be reprogrammed for me. And that's when everything began to change. Imagine waking up in the morning with a clear head, sitting down to work, and entering a state of deep focus, feeling connected to those around you, undistracted, not anxious, simply present. This isn't a fantasy. It's what happens when you take control of your brain. And today, I'll show you how to do it. It all comes down to 3 steps: reclaim, retrain, reframe. Step 1, reclaim your inputs. Start by cleaning up what you feed your brain. Think of your mind as a garden. If you plant weeds, distractions, hypersexualized content, mindless entertainment, that's what will grow. But if you plant the right seeds, knowledge, inspiration, meaningful connections, you'll see real growth. Start with a social media audit. Unfollow accounts that don't serve you. Replace them with ones that inspire you, be it business leaders, fitness experts, or creators sharing valuable ideas. I'll be honest, it's not easy. At first, you'll feel the pullback, but every time you choose growth over distraction, you teach your brain to crave the right things. Step 2, retrain your focus. This is where the real work begins. One of the most powerful tools I discovered is meditation. I know what you're thinking. Meditation isn't for me. I thought that too. But meditation isn't about sitting in silence for hours. It's about training your brain to focus, to pause before reacting, to take back control. Start small, just 5 minutes a day. Sit in a quiet place, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. When thoughts start to wander, and they will, gently bring them back. Over time, you'll notice a huge difference. You'll become calmer, more focused, and better at controlling your thoughts. Step 3, reframe your purpose. Finally, you need to anchor yourself in something bigger. Ask yourself, what are you striving for? What's your purpose? For me, it was building a business that would give me freedom and fulfillment. For you, it might be something else. Write it down, down, keep it visible. And when the temptation to get distracted hits, look at that purpose and remind yourself what's at stake. Because the truth is, every time you say no to a distraction, you're saying yes to your future. 6 months after starting this journey, my life was completely different. I was more focused than ever. My business was thriving. My relationships became deeper and more meaningful. But the best part? I felt free. Free from the constant pull of distraction. Free to create, connect, and grow. And that's what I want for you. So here's my challenge. Take the first step today. Unfollow one account that's holding you back. Meditate for 5 minutes. Write down your goal. These aren't huge changes, but they're the start of something grand. Because this isn't just about desexualizing your brain. It's about reclaiming your life, your focus, your potential, your future. Your brain is your greatest asset. Protect it. Nurture it. Take it back. Want more inspiration and practices for reclaiming your focus? Join our Telegram channel, where we share ideas for living mindfully and achieving goals without distractions.